Hello guys, truckdriver101.com. If you go to youtubetruckers.com, simply type it in and the link will take you to the audiobook. The audiobook is great for anybody new to trucking. Trying to figure out what school to go to youtubetruckers.com. Trying to figure out how much should trucking school cost, go to youtubetruckers.com. It's where my audiobook is sold for $2.99 and you can check it out, my friend. Alright. You can also go there with truckdriveraudiobooks.com. You can also go there with, those are great links right there. So, I am Ken Rule. Been doing trucking for over a decade now, and basically this is my podcast where I talk about truck driving. Today we're going to talk about hourly pay. And this is something that's been suggested in trucking. I know if you're a rookie, you're like, well, yeah, I want hourly pay. That sounds great. No, it doesn't sound great, dude. You do not want hourly pay, and here's why. Trucking companies basically pay a percentage of what the truck makes or a percentage of what they think they're going to gross. And that is based on usually mileage or percentage. I make day pay where I work at because I work in the automotive hauling industry. I haul auto parts. And we basically get paid based on what happens in a day. Now, sometimes, per day, but basically you make anywhere from, I work for a pretty good company, so you may make anywhere from $160 a day to $240 a day. We have some that pay that much. And it's cool. It's great. I like it. The thing is, a lot of guys complain because they only look at the days that they work 14 hours. And they go, well, technically I get less than $15 an hour. $15 an hour is supposed to be minimum wage. First of all, $15 an hour is not minimum wage. Let me repeat that. $15 an hour is not minimum wage. It is not. It will never be. Okay? I hope it never is. But it's not. It's not. It's not minimum wage, okay? Two, the second part of this is that trucking, that we don't, because I get paid by the day, I don't always work 14 hours. When we came back from the holiday, typically the automotive industry moves pretty slow after the holiday. So that meant I picked up one load and took it there and still got paid my full day's pay. I like that, I took, yesterday, I normally do 3 runs. I only did 2 runs. Not yesterday, but Friday. And boom, I was home at maybe 6 hours, and I still got my full day's pay. So, you got to kind of look at all those benefits, okay? Secondly, when I have a long day, 90% of my day is sitting. That's me making videos, that's me making podcasts, that's me doing other things. So I don't really benefit for hourly pay because hourly pay typically means you have to sit on your ass all day. And I look at that at the factory. I see guys all the time sitting on their ass trying to get that overtime, trying to get that double time and all that crap. I hate that because it's a waste of time. I would much rather get paid $40,000 a year with day pay and just be able to do whatever the hell you want to do. You know what I mean? And pretty much, because my long day for me is literally sitting in an air-conditioned truck, chilling with my cell phone. I could access the whole fucking world and doing whatever I want to do. That's my day. That's literally my day when I'm having a long day. And driving, I only drive about 40 miles. So, what am I tripping about with hourly pay? I don't want hourly pay. I don't want to have to work 40 hours a day to get my money. Normally I can clock my shit down to 8, sometimes 9 hours of actual work. Right, see, that's the other part. A lot of truck drivers have a problem with this concept of actual work. Actual work is, the way I count work is not because I showed up to work. Right, I count work as I'm actually working. That's why I don't like hourly pay, because it promotes you to waste time. And I hate wasting time. And there's no incentive to getting things done early. That means when I picked up that one load and, I pick up that one load now and they want a mandatory hourly pay, I'm screwed because I didn't do that many hours that day. That doesn't help anybody. And I hate and again, it's this idea of mandatory. It's Congress and all these assholes who decided this was good for them because they want to get, first of all, most of these assholes think they're going to get paid to sleep. I've discussed this online. You can check out some of my comments. I've talked about this. There are truck drivers out there who want to get paid to sleep. Right, you're an asshole. You are an asshole if you want to get paid to sleep. Because see, the thing about trucking is, yes, we work, but we got a lot of freedom in our work. You know what I mean? You can use the highways you really want to. You can go the way you want to. And you have a lot of technology which frees you up. Years ago, a driver was stuck behind that wheel, and all he could do was listen to the blues and keep it moving. Right? I got the world at my fingertips, bruh. I listen to audio books. I listen next month September. My favorite books all come out. Jack Reacher, my man Nathan McBride. All these books come out that I normally listen to on my audio books program, Audible. I love them. Okay, I love audiobooks. I'm going to get back to doing audiobook reviews, by the way. But I love audiobooks. And I literally can tell you, I love the fact that I sit back on a 14-hour day, listen to an audiobook, and just veg out. And it's a long day, but you know what? It's fun. I don't want to be like a Ford worker. I don't want to work 90 hours. And that's something else, too. Ford workers, GM workers, all these people. There's so many companies within these companies that pay these people less hours because people don't understand. When you put this kind of vice grip, they keep thinking they're going to get to $100 an hour and all this other bullshit. You're not. You're not going to get that. They're going to figure out a way to keep paying you the same amount. And then people kill me when they go, we get paid minimum wage. No, we don't. Not the real minimum wage, we don't. Not if you can't accept the fact that, I left home and I've been away from home thus many hours and eat a dick. Right? It's like, what do you want to get? You want to get paid to sleep? You want to get paid to sit on your ass? You want to get paid for, Googling? You want to get paid when you listen to music, listen to an audiobook? I don't want to live that life, man. I look at those workers. There's a place I go to. That's in upstate Michigan to pick up parts, and I come down. There's a guy who works there so many hours just to make close to what I make a day. A day, by the way. A day, right? He literally has to go through hell. Excuse me. Let me explain this. He literally fell asleep one day when I was sitting there talking to him. And it wasn't like we were talking for a long time. It was literally, hey, man, let me get my load. And he fell asleep. He had been at work 16 hours. 16 hours. See, and the other part is, a lot of this comes from you guys who are over the road, working with companies that aren't treating you with the respect you deserve, or you aren't pushing yourself to get on dedicated. And I try to tell guys, get off over the road, get on dedicated. Because dedicated, a lot of you guys talk about, well, when I was a rookie, I was making 26 cents a mile. And I always tell you guys, why are you sitting on 26 cents a mile? Why don't you go dedicated? You get dedicated. When I started with Warner, I started out the same exact way. When I went dedicated, it completely changed everything. I went from 20-something cents a mile to 33 cents a mile because I was dedicated. You guys, stop bullshitting. That's where your income problems are. You're not going to get this fanciful world of $100 an hour. You're not going to get $19, $27 an hour. They're going to give you $17 an hour, and it's going to come out to exactly what you normally make. And then you guys, the over-the-road addiction is so irritating to me. Why are you over the road when you have experience? I did that. I was that dumb too. I guess I shouldn't get so upset. But if you have experience, there's no reason to be over the road. You can make the same money locally. Anybody, and if I hear one more guy saying you can't, it makes me want to stab him in the face. You can make the same money. You can make more money. This is not about you or how far you drive by the mile. It's about the simplicity and reality that people want to get paid, right? And people, they want to get paid. So in other words, if I'm an oil company and I need to have gas in my tanks, I need to pay this driver to get off his ass and get here quickly. So that means I'm going to pay him well. And that's the only thing this is going to cause, by the way, is that companies are either going to have a minimum hourly pay, which will still add up to people like me who get paid by the day, or they will have a minimum daily hourly pay or some other crap, and it will add up to a percentage. You're not going to force them to pay you more. It's never going to happen. Never, ever, 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 ever. If you're not getting paid enough, you need to change companies. That is the most powerful thing you can ever do is quit. I did a whole audio on that, podcast on that. I talked about the power of quitting, the power to increase your income instantly. Quit. Stop being the pussy, right? As they say on JK Film, stop being the motherfucking bullshit. The motherfucking, I think they say motherfucking bullshit. That's the motherfucking bullshit. But, sorry to curse so much for all those who are offended, but the podcast is going to happen every single week, if you haven't noticed. This one is going to be a short one, but I am against mandatory hourly pay. I do not want it. I wish everybody got paid by the day. Then you would all be efficient, and people would get shit done. Okay? Because you get shit done. I get shit done because I get paid by the daily pay. Right? Fuck all hourly pay mandatory bullshit. It's not going to help anybody. It's not. You're not going to get them to pay you more money. It's not going to happen. All right, guys. TruckDriver101.com. If you want to check out the audiobook, go to YouTubeTruckers.com and you can get the audiobook, link to it. I discuss how much to pay for trucking school. I discuss how to choose a trucking school, how to choose a company, how to get to that dedicated account quickly. Right? I talks about the entire trucking industries. Right? If you want that knowledge, you want that wisdom of a decade in the game truck driver, click that link. Or click the link. YouTubeTruckers.com. You can also buy it on my podcast if you look for it. It is there, and it is the same cost. You just buy it through PayPal. And in every place you can't use PayPal, you can use credit cards. I don't have that information. That goes to the processors. I just gets the money. All right, guys. TruckDriver101.com. Good morning, people. TruckDriver101.com. This is the podcast. If you're interested in trucking and you're new to the game, go to YouTubeTruckers.com. You can buy my book, or you can get it at TruckDriverAudiobooks.com, TruckDriverAudiobooks.com, or TruckDriverAudiobook.com. You can buy my audiobook. It is to help new drivers. I talk about how much you want to pay for a school, what to expect in trucking, how to plan and create your own little team. It's all to help you. So, check that book out. It is $2.99. It is an audiobook. Something you can listen to while you're driving the trucking school, finishing up, baby. So, let's get busy here, guys. Now, this week I was checking out the news, the trucker news that I get from trucker website. I'll mention it the next time. The Trucker Report News. And I was checking out a carrier must pay $20,000 to a driver who refused to drive while sick. Department of Labor, Occupational Safety and Health Administration has ruled that Washington State carrier must pay one of its drivers $20,000 after suspending him for refusing to drive while sick. Now, this is something I've noticed for years. I mean, when I first started in trucking, it seemed like the mentality was we were supposed to work together as a team with dispatchers. In any article, they talk about like this is triumph against dispatchers. But to me, it's not about dispatchers. It's about the way companies are designed. You know, companies, for some reason, they treat every load like it's the worst. Like, if we lose this one load, we are screwed, you know. But the truth is, if that driver drove when he was sick and crashed into somebody and killed a family, that's going to cost the company millions of dollars, right, in lawsuits and other things. One of the biggest problems is that for some reason there is a design flaw in the way trucking companies are designed, that where your dispatcher is your enemy, and this ideology is deep in trucking. It's this whole idea that, you know, like with brokers, you know, brokers are your enemy, and the mechanics are your enemy, and it seemed to start when the recession started, because I remember all of a sudden they were refusing to fix things, and which was always stupid to refuse to fix anything on the truck, because I see so many people that think if I get this part fixed cheaply, then I save money. But you never save money because it's a part, right? You just get it fixed properly with a good part, you'll never have to fix it again. You know, but that's the old mentality of trucking, you know. And I don't know why there's this adversarial ideology. The only thing I can assume is that people think it makes them more money, but obviously it doesn't, because in this situation you would have asked the driver to drive while sick, and he could crash. I mean, he's a 25-year veteran, so you're talking about a 50, 60-year-old guy. You know, this guy could have been having a heart attack. He could have been, sick in a serious way, and you're trying to force him to drive. You know, the reason I say heart attack is because I have talked to people who've found out they thought they were sick and throwing up and vomiting, and they were actually having a fucking heart attack, you know. And so you never know, especially with somebody who's been trucking 25 years. I mean, this guy's probably 50, close to 60 years old. You know, you're pressing a guy who's older. You know, this isn't some young, spry 22-year-old whose body is healthy and fit. But anybody, you shouldn't be forced to drive while sick. I'm just saying, it seemed like you would have more consideration, you know, for a 25-year vet, and especially considering his age, you know. But they don't think that way. And you think the lawsuits, I mean, companies lose big money in lawsuits. I mean, $5-6 million more than that sometimes, especially if there's lingering issues like, you know, a child damaged mentally. You could be looking at $20-30 million, right? And that isn't worth one load or two loads or three loads or four loads. I mean, that's hundreds of loads. And even if you piss off a customer every once in a while, I don't think, you know, it's not like it's happening every single night. I doubt you're really calling up that customer going, we don't have your 80 loads we promised during the whole contract that we signed. But just seems to be this idea that, I think in trucking, there's this idea, like back to what I was saying first, there's adversarial ideology, that the best way to make money is to have the mechanics against the dispatchers against the drivers, you know, and everybody will somehow grind out money, and which puts a lot of pressure on drivers, because we got, you know, the industry still has a pretty high turnover rate. And as a result, the industry, you know, we have a lot more rookies, you know, and because we have so many rookies, it makes it really, really, really difficult for those rookies to learn proper ways to drive and the proper procedures when, you know, if something bad happens, they're being threatened. I mean, and, you know, they see these things. Like, they see guys like this get suspended. Like, he was going to get suspended. You got rookies, and then, I don't know if this company had rookies, but I'm just saying in general, when you have rookies that see that, you develop this foolish mentality of fear that if I stop, they're going to get me. The other thing I want to talk about real quick on the last part on this is that I thought it was great that OSHA, that's who that is, didn't just fine them $20,000. They also made them take off the information off his DAC report if anything was negative. And that is something I like, too. And you know, kudos to this driver for suing. That's the thing. I love the fact that he sued. He didn't just sit there and take it. He didn't sit there and say, I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this crap. I'm going to let these people demonize me and treat me like shit and have this unfair rule, and I'm just going to take it. We as drivers, we do need to fight back. I know there's not a lot of unions out there anymore, but groups like OSHA and the government and laws, there's a lot of those things are on our side. Sometimes we get so caught up in our conservative, the government is trying to take everything from me. The government is diabolically evil. So for all you rookies out there, the whole point of this is that don't be scared to stop. Don't be scared to tell the dispatcher to go fuck himself. I know people hate when I curse, but I don't care because this is trucking. I keeps it real. I keeps it real, people. Okay? So, that's all I want to say on that. And I'll be right next on our agenda. It took me a little minute. I want to bring up a conversation about the I-10 bridge collapse, which they're estimating is going to cost the trucking industry $2.5 million per day. I don't know where that's really from. I'm gonna have to strike that off until they didn't specifically explain why they believe the bridge collapse is going to cost that much. But it really leads to infrastructure. Like, what the fuck is our government doing? I mean, California has billionaires that live there. That's ridiculous. The truth is our government is so fucked up because it's supposed to be designed that you're supposed to take care of police and the infrastructure first, then you're supposed to take care of all those extracurricular activities. Now, I know what people are going to say. Oh, it's the welfares. It's the welfares. No. I don't think it's the welfares. I think it's the billions, not the hundreds of millions or billion, but the multi-billions or trillions that we spend on corn subsidies, that we spend on corporation bailouts, that we spend on all those things instead of our infrastructure. This should be outrageous. And all the money that we pay in taxes, that any damn bridge collapses. That's just ridiculous. No one in the United States of America should be worried about a bridge collapse. And again, we should be outraged. We should be pissed off. I mean, if you're a millionaire, you're going to cut a half of your check to the United States government, or a good portion of it. If you're a regular person, you're going to pay 25-35% of your check to the United States government. We're all going to give a whole lot of money to the government, and last time I checked, if I don't pay the IRS, they show up at my door with a baseball bat. It's called, we're going to take all your shit. And it seems like, well, if that's what they're going to do, then they need to act like, this is serious, and there's no call, there's no outrage about it. There just seems to be this, it's a cost. And to me, the outrage goes away because if this was a truck driver who knocked a bridge down, they would make a regulation in 3 days. They would make it in 3 weeks or three months. They would do everything they could to punish that driver. But when the failure is on the government, and it's with a bunch of people who have degrees, they hate regulating themselves. They don't like saying that someone who looks like me and is like me is a screw-up. Because I have an education, I'm supposed to be superior. And you're just like everybody else. And, and again, because you got to understand, our government isn't run by a bunch of Michigan State graduates. It's run by a bunch of Ivy Leaguers. And people always say, well, it's not that, Ken. It's just, it's a bad thing. We shouldn't blame people. No, we should blame people. Right? Like I said, the IRS will show up to your door and put you in jail. In jail. If you don't pay your taxes. You're going to put me in jail if I don't pay my taxes. Right? You call people down to the tax house to go to a court. Right? To go to court for audits and all types of things that the IRS can do to you and call you down to go to court to pay the government, yet they can't make sure the funding is used, properly. So we don't have bridge collapses. It's frustrating. It's frustrating that our government is so obsolete. It's frustrating that they put more focus on paying for, sugar than they do bridges. because I'm pretty sure rotten teeth aren't as important as being able to drive on a level, bridge. I'm gonna step on the good foot and tell you about that. But yeah, I was shocked to hear that it literally, not only that, is I-10 is a huge, huge thoroughfare. This could have been a massive, massive national tragedy, and it needs to be dealt with. At least if you're not going to fix the bridge, shut them down. Shut the bridges down. And I know this leads also to some conversations that we need to have about the internet and the lack of taxes, the government funding the wrong things. And I'm talking about the real wrong things. Like I said before, I'm sick of hearing people talk about welfare. Giving somebody $200 a month or $500 a month is not, if you think somebody on welfare is making $1,000 a week, you're an idiot. Okay? The people who suck up the most in subsidies are corporations, trucking companies. Yeah, I said it. You know that a lot of you guys who go to trucking school, your company's getting paid money from the government, and that's thousands of dollars a day, not $500 a year, a month, or $600 a month somebody welfare is getting. I'm talking about real money, okay? I'm not talking about bullshit money. All right, they spend trillions on subsidies throughout this country. Not hundreds of millions, not a billion, trillions. There are states, Texas, Missouri, many of the farming states, they suck up trillions of dollars over time. Trillions, hundreds of billions, right, every single year. It is not Joe Billy and his wife on aid. It is not Pookie them down in the hood. It ain't Hector over on things. It is Joe Billy the farmer. It's CEO Jonathan Bartholomew III at FICO that manufactures all the meat or whoever. These companies, or Monsanto is what I should say, Monsanto, right? These companies suck up the money that should be used for our roads. And the government, it should be outraged. You should be pissed off. You should be frustrated. You should be telling these assholes every day that you want your goddamn bridges fixed, or at least shut them down. The fact that this bridge in 2013, by the way, I'm talking about the I-10 collapse, in 2013 was declared functionally inept. Basically, it needed to go. It needed to go. I'm not going to use the proper terminology because I ain't educated, goddammit. I don't have the proper terminology, but damn it, it needed to go, and then you knew it in 2013, and you still come taking my motherfucking tax money, and yeah, I'm pissed because I think I shouldn't have to do this shit. There's certain shit. When you pay exorbitant amount of rent, right, you do not expect a leaky roof. And if you tell the landlord, I'm paying $2,000 a month, I want my roof fixed, right? My roof is fixed, right? So, it's outrageous. It's bullshit, and it needs to be taken care of. But it's frustrating to me that there is as much outrage. This should be on the news every day. Every day we should be bitching and moaning and crying. We should treat it with utmost seriousness that our government is not doing its job. Right, because we got, think about it. Let's go after the farmers, right? Let's just think about the military. Right? How many, literally, I think there are 3 or 4 planes the government, they did a story about 3 or 4 planes that will never be used in combat that cost $100 million each. $100 million. Right. I'm pretty sure this bridge could have been fixed for less than $100 million. And if you live in California, it's ridiculous. I don't understand all the problems in California. You have billionaires. You ain't like Detroit where we got one billionaire Ford. You have billionaires. I mean, up north in California is full of billionaires. I mean, not millionaires, billionaires who pay, I'm pretty sure, a good chunk of change, right, on that $1 billion they worth. And it just doesn't make sense. It just, it's lack of focus. And the thing is, like, I don't know. I guess I'm the only upset one because I feel like it should be upset after we get screwed every year on taxes and it doesn't get fixed. And if I hear one more fucking Republican tell me about welfare, I swear to God, I'm gonna slap you in the fucking mouth. I am. Make it some motherfucking game. I mean, I'm sorry. Just don't tell me about people getting $500 a month. Talk about the trillions, brother. Talk about the hundreds of billions. Okay, that's what we pay in corn, brother. Every year. You know what? Y'all hold on for a minute. I'm gonna get some real accurate fucking information here. We get all technical because this is really pissing me off today. So, just wanna, you know what? I'm gonna shoot a different YouTube video for this because I want to get these numbers. So let's Google. Subsidies. Or, oh, here we go. Subsidies for oil. Oh, here we go. Taxpayers currently subsidize the oil industry by as much as $4.8 billion a year. The oil industry, right? The people that we pay, what, $3 a gallon to, we're subsidizing them, by the way. We subsidize them $4.8 billion a year, with about half going to the big five oil companies. Exxon, rich as hell. Shell, rich as hell. Chevron, rich as hell. BP, rich as hell. And ConocoPhillips, I guess I'm probably saying that wrong, but which gets an average tax break of 3.34 every year barrel domestic crude they produce. So bottom line, right? I'm not sure about that last part, but let's stick to the part I get. Right? I didn't know Shell was still in business. That's weird. Anyway, I don't know how good this article is, but April of 2014, I found it on Google, but it's claiming, I'm not sure if it could not be accurate, but I'm pretty sure we probably do subsidize the oil industry billions of dollars. Billions. Bridges don't cost billions. We could spend, that's the thing about this too. You spend $20 billion to fix our bridges. $1 trillion to fix our bridges. It's a one-time expense. Once they're fixed, they're fixed. And, you know, and we're accepting this. We're accepting this bullshit. So, I just wanted to do that example. Just wanted to, put that out there, that we're subsidizing these companies like this. So, anyway, guys, that's the raw and uncut version of this podcast. And that's it. Do me a favor. I don't know if I'm going to try to call to action today. If you out there, and you know who your congressman is, or you know who your, or you know, representative, or just Congress in general, if you can, find them, find a name, and call them, and tell them, especially if you live in California, that you are pissed off, that you pay enough money. If you could send them a letter or an email, you should do it. Because no bridge in the richest country in the world should be collapsing. Supposedly. We're really the credit-rich country in the world. We control belief, right? We ought to stop believing in our bridges and make sure they actually can stand, right? That's not a good place to put your faith in a collapsing bridge. That's not good. All right, guys, truckdriver101.com. If you are interested, I have a book on truck driving for all you rookies out there. And I'll talk to you guys later. Go to truckdriverbooks.com or truckdriveraudiobooks.com. YouTube Truckers. You can go to that website. YouTube Truckers is a link that will take you directly to the audio book. It is literally great for new truck drivers. All right, guys. Truckdriver101.com.